I got kids running around in the background, so I don't want to hear noises. But yeah, how am I?
That's right. You're good. You're
Good. I
good.
don't have.
You're good. You're framed a little weird, and you
Yeah.
look a little bit like Baphomet. But Russian Vids will have his say on that.
Hi, this is the Maverick artist Victor Hugo reporting modern art gonzo journalism for the modern art music movement. It is July 31st, 2025, reporting from the former Soviet Union, Republic of Georgia, near the border with Russia, Turkey, Armenia, and Azerbaijan. My job is not to be politically correct. It is to witness, observe, analyze, and document the beautiful chaos that surrounds us all so that future generations can understand how we got to this momentous moment in time where we are reunited with Flat Earth Dave and Dustin Nemos after over a year, and a lot has happened in this year. So we're going to touch on some interesting topics. I just wanted to start with a report here from the border with Russia. There was an 8.8 magnitude earthquake, and the people here are suspecting that it might be the United States, NATO's way of letting Russia and China know that the US is not opposed to using weather weapons. So this opens up a whole can of worms because if the US thinks that Russia and China don't also have weapons like this, we're just entering into a whole new level of warfare. This is not just fifth generation, but we've entered into sixth generation. So I want people to know that. And also today was the hearing in Canada for son of Enos being released on bail. His mother will contact me. Latest is that they are trying to show a video of his so that he does not get out and is continuing to be held in a maximum security prison for noticing. I will update you as soon as I get that information from his mother. In the meantime, thank you so much, Flat Earth Dave. You were on the show a couple of days ago, and we spoke about the FTE
TFE,
and
TFE.
Final experiment.
TFE.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, excuse me. And we had spoken about how I had heard that there was some kind of kerfuffle between you and Dustin, and we had mentioned that we would not talk about that on this show because I said, with your permission and with Dustin's, that we would have a reunion. And as it turns out, we're just going to go ahead and get rid of the elephant in the room right off the start, and we're going to talk about it. So we're going to show people that, you know what, we can be mature adults and we can agree to disagree, but we're going to get to the bottom of this. So thank you, Flat Earth Dave. I want to invite you to start off, and thank you, Dustin, for being a good sport and joining us as well.
All right. Thanks. So the whole TFE thing, which stands for the final experiment, it's neurolinguistic programming with a false binary. The final experiment stored in your brain as the base of what it is. So it's the final experiment. And it says if the sun does this, then that. If the sun does that, then this. A false binary, right? So the whole thing is mind control from the start. There, you have two camps out there that are. I don't know how to put this. There's two camps out there. You got the anti-flat Earth trolls, the paid agents out there, the ones that everybody knows by name. I don't care about them. They don't bother me at all. Those are the ones that hate flat earthers. They want us dead, right? They don't bother me at all. It's the flat earthers that bother me. It's the flat earthers that attack each other, which is all by design, by the way. They're literally getting us to cannibalize ourselves. So Dustin and I are on the same page. TFE was fake as fuck. Okay, the whole thing. Not if I'm right, Dustin. Right? TFE was not presenting reality. Would you agree with that? Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So there's different theories on what they did, and it's all theories, right? Everyone says that Jaron is a paid agent. He was an agent for 10 years, or he was threatened. Those are theories. Those are definitely theories. And then if I come up with another theory, everyone says I'm defending Jaron. I am not defending Jaron. The guy has only attacked me. And my theory is that I don't know what happened to Jaron. Maybe it's spiritual. I'll go as far as maybe he was replaced. Maybe he was MK Ultra before he went on the trip, right? That's a real thing. You guys believe in MK Ultra, right? That's a real thing. That's not a theory, right? So who knows what happened to Jaren? And that's a theory. But all of those theories, MK Ultra, threatened, paid off, sleeping agent from the beginning, all of those are the same thing. They all lead to deception, to lies, to going after the flat Earth. So why are people attacking each other? I was attacked when years ago when I said I think that the shuttle, the space shuttle, is a blimp filled with helium and there's no people on it, and I got attacked violently for that. And it turns out that these large rockets are helium-filled balloons, and so the truth is first attacked, and then it's like, oh yeah, that is the case. So again, I'm not saying I know what happened, but I know I'm talking for a little bit. I want to keep it as short as possible, but I actually have a little more information on this than most people because I was supposed to go. So Dustin, you can unmute. I'm the only one that knows 100% for sure that I'm not a paid agent, right? You don't know it. Victor, you don't know it. Dustin, you don't know it, right? But I know it. So, Dustin, let's say you follow somebody who's a truth teller and he goes through lots of stuff and shows evidence and the guy's amazing. He's just putting up great stuff. And then he also throws in some stuff that you don't see the evidence for, but you're like, that must be right because he's right about all these other things. Then this guy comes out and says Dustin Nemos was the brains behind the TFE deception. He's the one that put it together. He's the one that is in charge of Duffy. He's the head guy. He's actually high up in the CIA. Now, let me ask you a question. The guy that just said that, how do you look at the rest of his work now? Do you question some of the stuff that he didn't show evidence on?
I always want to get the full story.
Yeah, no, but let's say this person claimed that about you. So now all the stuff that you took that he didn't show evidence on, that you're like, oh, that's really good stuff. Now you're going to question that other stuff, right? You have to question now because what he's saying about you. So I was supposed to go to Antarctica. And when I saw through the deception, because I have good intuition, I said, I'm not going. I don't deal with demons, right? And they tried everything they could to make me go. I didn't go. So then it switched to Jaren and Austin. And there was so much stuff that came up with that. We'll get into that in a minute. But when they went there, flashing forward, everyone's like, this is fake. They're in a studio. This was pre-recorded. I know that can't be the case because I was supposed to go. That means I would have to be in on it also. So something else happened, right? Austin says that, yeah, they were somewhere in Antarctica, but he couldn't tell you where. That's honest. Jaren, I don't know what the fuck happened to him. Okay. But so now we know there's two other camps. Hey, Joe Hanvey and other people show a model where we can show two circling suns, right? We can show two circling suns. And a possibility on how that could happen. So let me where is it?
But I just want to quote a prophet who said, "It takes 20 years to build your reputation and 5 minutes to ruin it."
Yeah, it's I always say that about a good restaurant. A good restaurant, you go 100 times, you love it. They serve you one bad meal, they're dead. They get a bad Yelp review, and you never come back again. So
yeah.
So I was gonna just, if I can find I won't even show it. So maybe this is it. Maybe this is it.
By the way, Dave, how did they approach you to become part of this? Like, did they email you?
So an email went out. Yeah. What's that, Dustin?
I'm just trying to take notes so I don't lose track of all these things. Okay.
Yeah. So an email went out to all of the flat earthers and globers that like, hey, we got this experiment coming up in 30 days or 60 days, and you're going to be a part of it. And so I got that email. I got a bad feeling from the email already. I replied back. I was like, I don't play these games. Just tell me what the experiment is, and I'll tell you, my opinion on it. Nope, you got to wait. And I said, I don't play these games. I don't deal with demons. Don't ever contact me again. And that was it. That's the only communication I ever had with Duffy, other than when he introduced himself to me prior to that. Didn't tell me who he was at the debate in Tennessee. That's a whole nother freaking thing. So then when I turned it down, the campaign against me to go was unbelievable. They called every influencer in my life. They called people at Anarchapulco, saying, Dave Weiss is speaking at your conference, but he turned down a free trip to Antarctica. That's because he's lying. You should make him go. You should make him go. And they're reaching out to me, Anarchapulco people, going, what is it? What is going on here? And so when I wouldn't go, they scrambled. And so they went to the next two people. They went to Jaron, and Jaron goes, well, I'm not going unless I can bring somebody with me for my safety. They're like, okay, no problem. 40 grand, no problem. Another 40 grand. Right. And I said to Jaron, they could fake the sun. He's like, you can't fake the sun. Right. You can't fake the sun. And I was like, what if it's cloudy? And I showed him all pictures of Union Glacier, where it's mostly cloudy and the sun is behind the layer of clouds. You can see a bright spot. I go, they could fake that. So he goes to Duffy. He goes, what if the sun's behind the clouds? And Duffy goes, if it's even hazy, we'll consider that a win for flat Earth. That's a bold statement, considering it's cloudy like 360 days a year there. It's crazy amount of bad weather, right? Flashing back, Dustin, do you trust Duffy? You think he's trustworthy?
Not at all.
Not at all. Why don't you think he's trustworthy? What do you know about him that makes you not trust him?
He's a fake Christian pastor who teaches that lying is okay with God.
Okay.
No offense, he's a Jew. And thirdly, he tried to stop biblical Earth and Christians from taking over so-called flat Earth, which was what he admitted basically on his own clip when he launched the TFE.
Interesting. I didn't even know he was Jewish.
Wait a minute. Did you just say he's a Christian pastor, but he's a Jew?
What? Yeah, he's a crypto Jew pretending to be a Christian pastor, leading people astray, teaching that it's okay to lie, with actual no congregation that we have ever seen. He actually just reads to a fake room of no people, it looks like.
Right. And he never addresses anybody. You never hear a baby cry. You never hear anyone say amen. You never hear anything. It's just an empty room. And except for the last couple months before, all of a sudden they started showing like a dozen people in his church because we were talking about this. And again, they react. So do you know who brought that empty church to the attention of the flat Earth community?
I think it was you.
Yeah, it was me. So what else about Duffy don't you trust?
His associations. Most of his associations are also, after the TFE, I started looking into the people around the TFE, even the lower, lesser known people and the sort of like the fringe. And I found all sorts of controlled opposition and Jewery and shenanigans, etc.
Right. So that's interesting. And what about his financial position?
You know, if I'm not mistaken, he has a history of fraud, but I don't remember the details, so I don't want to say it.
So the history of fraud is on the FINRA website. I'm the one that brought it to the community that he has 5 violations. He's paid $500,000 in fines. He could go to jail. The SEC is after him in 2 different states. And I am the one that brought this to the flat earthers community. So, people say that I support TFE. I'm defending TFE. I'm destroying TFE. I destroyed Duffy, right? And now he's got 7. He's got 2 more. So what I'm showing right here, this is just an example of what's that?
He's got 2 more what?
He's got 2 more violations again with the SEC, another $500,000 or $1 million in fines. And I made a video and broadcast it. It's still out there, and I'll link it below this video, showing that this guy is in financial ruins. He is fighting for his freedom, but all he cares about is ending the flat Earth argument. Right? We've caught him lying. Like he said, I'm new to flat Earth, the last year or 2. But meanwhile, he was the producer of the Bob Enyard radio show, I don't know how many years ago. And all Bob talked about was flat Earth, right? Who brought that to the flat Earth community's attention? Every answer is me, by the way.
Well, I backed down TFE. NASA's largely funded controlled opposition experiment. So I'm going to take credit on that one.
Okay. So my point is,
you were invited as well, Dustin, to be part of that?
No. I'm the man who broke the deception of this fake experiment. Like, this is a largely NASA-funded experiment. Like, they fund the camp that these guys went to, so you cannot deny that it's a largely NASA-funded.
No, that's what I've been saying that from the beginning. It's that Union Glacier, all of Antarctica, is controlled by NASA.
And basically, back then, this was accepted. People had been running with it. Like, all the who's who had basically said this was legit. Even Dave still supported it before the debate I did with Witsit. So basically, like, alone with a few small accounts.
What did I support? What did I support?
Like, you still believed in this up until post debate.
Believed in what?
You still believed that the footage was legitimate.
No, I never believed the footage was legitimate. All right, we'll get into that in a minute.
Anyway, so the point I'm making is that, like, I basically took on this controlled opposition experiment and backed it down in terms of people believing it. I wrecked NASA on this topic. No, listen, I went very deep into this research.
You've done some good work, but you also made some conclusions. I don't have any complete conclusions. First, why I'm showing this so I can take it off the screen. This is a single sun circling. So you got this guy with the sun circling around him, and this guy with the sun circling in the other direction. So this would be Antarctica. This would be, the center. Do you believe that this is a possibility in Antarctica, that they could see a circling sun in Antarctica?
Yeah, I want to get into that, actually. There's a second competing experiment that goes into it's the firmament. It's reflecting.
Yeah. So I think that this is a possibility, far-fetched, but I don't think that's what they filmed, right? I'm just saying this is more feasible than the heliocentric sun in a space vacuum violating natural law. Okay, if you say, "Oh, the sun circling proves the shape of the Earth," then you have to believe in helium and hydrogen in a vacuum that has gravity, that burns 640 billion tons a second or whatever it is, never gets any smaller, holds on to Pluto, ignores our moon. It's the dumbest crap ever, right? So, but
I'll address that.
Yeah. So my point that I'm trying to make here, if I could, is
both of you guys are speaking on a level of most people understanding. So dumb it down for me, because I don't know. A lot of people who are watching are new to this. So that image that you just showed, what did I saw two suns there going around.
So that was, what was that? I had a curved firmament, if you will, and I was just I was taking my phone light battery and my phone light, and I was just circling it around. So that's the wrong one. Hold on.
Whenever he's done, I'm gonna address a lot of these things as well.
Yeah. Absolutely. But
I just want to make sure that we dumb it down for people like me who don't really know.
Here's the tube, and I got my phone light, and two suns appear in it. So if this was the Earth and we're inside this, we have two counter-rotating suns. So this is the premise for TFE, that a circling sun proves the globe, but they're not taking into account the firmament, the apparent sun, and they're not taking into account that the heliocentrism with the sun in the sky breaks natural law. Natural law is you can't have gas in a vacuum, period. You can't have gas contained in a vacuum. But I can come up with 3 or 4 different models that show how a sun would work on flat Earth, but I don't believe that's what they filmed. And so and getting to your point, and I'll let you talk because I can go on. I've got a lot more to say, but you said that I said the footage was legit. No, the footage is what they filmed. I think it's fake, but I believe they went there and they filmed what they showed us. Now, I believe they faked the entire sky, right? If you believe in Project Bluebeam, most people do, it's a real thing, then believing that they can project the sun into the sky, and there's lots of evidence for that, and project an entire blue sky is not any more far-fetched than Project Bluebeam. So go ahead, Dustin.
Wait, before you go, Dustin, can you go back, Flat Earth Dave, to those images that you showed with a rainbow? You had 2 images that were earlier.
That was let me see what I can find. Give me a second. Good, Dustin, you talk. I'll bring it up while you talk.
So well, there's been a lot of stuff said, so I've been taking notes to try to not forget. I would lose track. So I'm going to also do kind of a recap of the TFE briefly in my description here. But so the final experiment, or TFE, which is, as he mentioned, a false name. I mean, it was neither final nor an actual experiment, but scientific propaganda,
We
fake
agree.
experiment.
We agree.
Um, yeah, but only more. It only opened more questions. It didn't. It didn't answer the question. It was not a final experiment. It was largely, as I mentioned before, a NASA-funded effort led by Will Duffy, this fake Christian pastor who's a Jew, to use a largely inaccessible and remote location forbidden to most people to try to conclusively prove flat or curve one way or the other. Will Duffy even admitted in a clip that he wanted to stop Christians and biblical Earth from taking over the flat Earth community as his motivation. I've got this documented on my post, the
I think I heard
24-hour
that.
sun. Yeah, it's the 24-hour sun and Arctic trips. Every flat Earth model predicts a 24-hour sun in Antarctica, but did they fake it? This is at my hidden history archive at sarahpayham.com. And I said trips because there was actually a second competing trip I'll get to in a second. TFE was fake, but until I made that known, very few people would even admit it, and most had accepted it. I backed NASA down on this deception. Now, I do believe Jaron to be controlled opposition and willfully deceptive, and I even caught him flipping his compass upside down to fake the direction in the TFE footage, among other things. So it isn't his first time with the deceptive failed experiments debunking his own positions. I think there's a pattern there. At first, even Flat Earth Dave defended this footage. It was later that Flat Earth Dave began to doubt. I think it was about the time of the debate or after that you sort of switched from defending the footage to defending Witsit and some of the people involved
Let me
from
jump in.
themselves having, yeah.
Yeah. Let me jump in. So I was defending the footage, absolutely. I was like, because of my information, knowing that I was supposed to be there, I can't fathom a way that they are in on it on that level. I think Jaron and Austin were tricked. Now, just assume I'm right for a second. They went there. They were showing a David Blaine Copperfield fucking magic trick in the sky, which makes a lot of sense because if you think about it, you know, the guys, when they got there, they said they hadn't seen the sun in 2 or 3 months. And then the day they get there, it's 9/11 blue. I call it chroma key blue, right? So if they fake the sky and put a sun up there, so let's say you were a guy that went there and then you saw that sun in the sky. Are you an agent? So
I don't see how they could have got him into the studio without them seeing the outside.
Studio. It's not a studio. They just did. They can project this shit into air, right? Project Bluebeam. When they fake shit in the sky, there's no studio. It's just the sky.
So we have images like of the footage with like the straight lines forming 90-degree angles and such.
I agree. So my first thought on that was before I really thought about how they could have faked this is maybe that was a 360 video, but then your guys' investigation, no, that's not. There's a real seam in the sky. Dustin, let me ask you a question. If they used Project Bluebeam and above tech to fake the sky, do you think it could have a seam?
I don't see why it would.
Well, if they're faking the sky, do you think there can be a fucking glitch like NASA?
Yeah, I mean, maybe so. I've never.
Right. So my point is, my point is, doesn't matter if you never heard of it. If they're faking the sky, there could be a glitch. We're on the same team. They faked the sky, or everyone was in on it. I know they're not in on it because I was supposed to be there. So that's from my point of view.
That's the kind of glitch you would see with like edges of screens butting or something.
Or if you're projecting a sky somehow, I have no idea how they're doing it. Maybe it has multiple friggin' components to it. And maybe there's a glitch in the fucking hologram or whatever the word is of the sky. So I'll let you go just 1 second. You think that they were in on it because they were in a studio. Is that a fact or a theory? Theory.
I feel like it's the state of the evidence.
But it's a good theory. You'll admit it's a good theory, right? It's not a fact.
Yeah.
Okay. I think they faked the whole fucking sky. It's another theory. Now, do you think TFE was real? No. Do I think TFE was real? No. We're on the same fucking team. We have two different theories on how they faked it, and we're trying to find the truth. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, well, yeah, and I think our primary disagreement now is really whether or not we can trust people like Austin. I think Jared.
I don't know if I can trust Austin at this point. He's acting very weird.
Yeah, and
What do you
Jaron,
mean?
he's flipped globe but won't debate it. He has a history of lying about it. We caught him in lies. I don't think
I have a
Jaron's a
big problem
contender.
with Jaron, but I listen. The theory that he's paid off, it's a good theory, right? If that he's threatened, that's pretty good theory, right? The fact that he was an agent from the beginning, that's a little harder to believe, but it's not a horrible theory, right? So those are
It's a
all
pattern.
theories, right? But
This fake
what if,
science to fail,
yeah,
in
but
public.
what if could it be something else? It's not defending Jaron. I don't know. We have theories, but we all
Yeah,
agree it's bullshit.
this is where Occam's razor, the simplest explanation is usually the best, like really applies well. I do want to address like there's a wild card in this that people really don't talk about. And I asked Austin when I was trying to figure out if he was being honest or not, like maybe you should talk about the other experiment that competes with yours that happened about the same time where the other group did not forget their equipment. And they basically took a bunch of footage of a two sun, phenomenon being the firmament. It's reflected firmament sun. It's not a globe model. It is not compatible with the globe model. But this other experiment,
What
they
experiment is that?
conclusively proved the oh, let me
The final experiment.
No, I
the
mean,
next final experiment.
am I aware of this
It,
experiment?
there's a video titled "The Antarctic Sun: Unveiling the Truth Behind Flat Earth," and I forget the name of the group behind it. I'll find it in a second for you.
These
But
were
they
people
basically,
in
yeah,
Antarctica.
they confirmed, yeah, they went to Antarctica with their equipment. They confirmed a reflected white sun. They even have footage from the plane ride as well. There was a duller inverted sun around midnight in Antarctica as well. And there would be sometimes a reflected sun that would be present without the actual sun, like really close to noon. And sometimes there would be a reflected sun that would be present with the actual sun. So you get double sun phenomenon. And the reflected and inverted sun were reflections off the dome, just like double rainbows. So the true takeaway, it was in a sense the final experiment because we now have more evidence that we did not already have to prove the firmament, which is a flat world
That,
model thing.
Dustin, where in Antarctica were they? Do you know?
I don't remember off the top of my head.
Were they near them on the other side? Did they come from
There are only so
Australia?
many places they're allowed to go, but yeah,
Yeah. So that actually
it's been
goes
months since I
well
saw it.
with my theory that my theory is kind of hybrid. That the Johanvi model, the reflection thing, is true, but I'm like, when the sun's over Australia from where they were, it would be a dimmer sun. You just said they saw a dimmer reflected sun on the firmament. What if
Yeah.
that the Microsoft people that were in Antarctica that are highly involved with NASA could project the plasma ball? They can project plasma into thin air, and they projected it onto that reflected sun, right? And they just tracked it all the way around, and they made it so bright you couldn't see without fucking glacier glasses on, which those guys said you couldn't even fucking go outside without your glasses on. Although the explorers, years ago, the other explorers in Antarctica, all the pictures of them, none of them are wearing sunglasses, and they're when it's daylight all the time. So
It's usually dark there
yeah, well,
with the weather and such.
yeah.
Yeah.
So my point is the blue sky that happened, the sun being so bright and so white, and never changing color, right? All of these things together kind of lean towards my theory. That's just
I
my
still,
theory.
I still lean towards studio and don't trust those people who went to this trip and lied about it later. Rather than plasma in the sky, like the sky was real, but the rest of it was fake, like the sun part was fake.
No,
Because
the
there's
sky
still
was
other
fake too.
things.
The whole sky was fake, in my
Yeah.
opinion. But Dustin,
Yeah.
would you feel differently if you were the person that was
Well,
supposed to go?
wait, hang on. Could they project, even with blue beam, a blue chroma blue sky
I think
onto
so.
a typically very dark, cloudy, stormy, sky
I
full
think
of,
so.
I don't know,
I think so.
maybe, and possibly so, but there are
It's
those
a
other
theory.
distortions like the line. But what was your other question? Sorry.
No, I'm saying that's a theory. It's a theory, right?
He asked if you were asked to go, right? You were asking him how he would feel if he was asked to go.
If it was designed for you to go, and you're like, no fucking way, and then they switch to other people that you knew, what would
I told him
you?
it was a trap.
I told them it was a trap too. I said, I don't know what they're fucking going to do. And both of them, their answer was, it doesn't matter. We're going to go observe and report back. And that's what I think they did. They observed.
I remember
and reported back.
Right before Whitsitt like boarded the plane, he was on a Twitter space and we are talking to him. I remember like we're all praying for his safety and stuff. And it was kind of funny now in retrospect. But yeah, I mean, I don't
you
trust any of those people involved.
Only Jaren flipped and Austin didn't. Do you have a theory on that?
I've caught them both in lies, but Jaren obviously has a history of doing this, and I don't see a history of this with Austin. This might be his first time kind of dropping the ball on purpose or whatever. Jaren tried that other thing across the lake with the styrofoam, which was a failed laser experiment. And that was kind of like a big dud. Like, oh, the flat earthers were embarrassed. They kind of fell on their face with a stupid experiment and embarrassed themselves. Well, that's what Jaren does. He makes us look dumb with bad experiments.
Well, that did happen to him, and if you look in the details of it, again, not defending Jaren, they were supposed to use a laser with a condenser, and the laser melted, so they no longer had a laser. So they were just doing it with a light. Netflix did deceptive editing, and that's to me, that's a legit story. Not defending Jaren, he shouldn't have been in that situation.
The only time they put me on Netflix is to make fun of me. So you don't get on the media without a reason. They either want to destroy you or help you to destroy, others.
So looking at this from an outside perspective, because I'm relatively new to the whole flat Earth thing and the argument, and I really had never even heard of the TFE. But for those of us who are looking in and we're seeing how so many conspiracies now, everything from the Epstein to the 9/11 to now this, why are these people doing what they're doing, ruining their reputations, lying so obviously? Do you think they're doing it for the money? Are they threatened? You were saying that the one guy has criminal charges, investigations against him, and NASA and the CIA, they pick these people. Why? Why do they so much want to discredit the flat Earth movement?
Well, there's a lot of possibilities there. I mean, one thing that happened was Whitsitt's sister went missing for a while. People thought that maybe she'd been kidnapped and blackmailing him with her or something like that. I don't know if she showed back up or what happened with that. We caught Whitsitt with like the vape lie, for example, which is the famous Whitsitt hits it. And then, of course, faking his breath with vape, pretending it was cold air and humid breath. And then we also caught him lying about the mountains, et cetera, on the debate that Flat Earth Dave moderated. So there's a number of things that he should not have lied about.
What did he lie about the mountains? I don't remember.
Okay, so it was the same repeating mountains from a couple of years before. And it was the exact same mountain background. And like he wanted to say it was a different mountain somewhere else or something like that. And
I don't think that was it. I think it was that the mountain had the same snow patterns from years earlier.
Yeah, the same exact snow pattern. You're right, snow pattern. And even a month earlier, I'd showed that like it was a massively different snow pattern. He wanted to argue it just never changed years and years later. And there was also, there's the money possibility in terms of like possible motives. Whitsitt's been having allegedly some financial troubles, which I think he's admitted to his audience and has been asking for some support on. So there may be that. It's not easy to be a content creator who's, fully independent and full time. I've been doing this since 2017 as a news person, which is a little bit different because he focuses on more of the science and the debate side. I do some of that too. But it's not easy in this field to maintain independence. Most people have to get some sort of sponsor that has strings attached to them, like the wellness company.
So this is like controlled opposition? Are we looking at controlled opposition here?
That's a theory.
I think so.
That's a theory.
I have a post on it. Yeah, and I have a post on it because there's actually a lot of other people. Whitsitt's one of the more prominent names, but there's a lot of other people who were involved in this who were caught in lies and have been defending it since. Many of them are Jews. No offense, Flat Earth Dave. And they basically, I think we have busted a nest of controlled op. I call it the Flat Earth community controlled opposition.
When you hear Dustin say many of them are Jews, David, when I first interviewed you,
I don't care.
Yeah, you said you're not a practicing Jew, or
I know less about Judaism than Justin. Dustin knows. Dustin, are you Jewish? Okay, so I know far less about it than you do, and you know what?
Yeah.
It's interesting. I'm actually learning a little bit about it now for the first time in my life. But I just want to show what I'm showing here. This is the north. This is TFE. TFE. No matter how low or how high the sun got, the sky stayed the same blue. It never turned like that yellow. Now this is in the north, right?
Yeah.
So like this is a fake situation. And there's so much information. You know, NASA's heavily contracted with Microsoft. Microsoft's contracted with NASA or whatever. They're involved with the space station, you know, faking shit on there. And it's funny that one of the top guys from NASA, from Microsoft, happened to be vacationing in fucking Antarctica during TFA. Right? Just happened to be there. Weird. All right? Doesn't prove anything. So again, when we look at the sun flares off of the Antarctica ones, they're very square. There's some sharp edges, right? But they're real sun flares off of the ones in the north, right? Yeah. And so again, that just leans towards, hey, something's not right. Something's not right with what they saw. Now, Dustin, you didn't answer the question. You were supposed to go, and at the last minute, you bail, and they bring other people. You know, you're the only one that knows that you're not in on it. So you might
look at a good place to be.
No, but that's where I was. I know that I'm not in on it. You don't know that I'm not in on it. You might think that I'm the biggest, secret Jew agent that there is. All right, and that's fine, right?
You're my favorite Jew.
It's okay,
frankly,
Dustin. It's like I have a funny comment, but I'm not going to say it. So my point is, Dustin, if you were in that situation, you might look at this, go, well, I don't think that they could all be in on it because I was supposed to go. So maybe it's something else. How about this? Thank God for Dave Weiss looking into another possibility on how they faked it, so we don't run down a fucking dead end, gate kept hallway. Okay, because that's where you guys are running down. In my opinion, I think you should still run down that hallway. We need to investigate everything, but I think I'm right.
So, some of the individuals associated with, obviously, we talked about Will Duffy. He's bad news. He's a liar, etc. And his motivation for this we've covered as well, wanting to stop, biblical Earth and Christians from taking it over. We also have Mark Sargent and Patricia Steer. We have Whitsitt himself, Austin Whitsitt. We have Jaron, we talked about. We have a guy named Jonathan Marianne. And we have the folks over at Answers in Genesis, which, I like some of their work, but they are vehement flat Earth, biblical Earth deniers. Like, they don't want to accept God's word about this, but they're cool with the young Earth stuff. Like, it's funny how that works. Hopefully they'll come around. But all of these folks have basically helped to cover this up or were themselves directly involved and went to it. And, there's a number of these peripheral figures that are now, as you said, gatekeeping, basically. And they're gatekeeping this. They don't want us to know that this was fake because it basically shows that there is a flat Earth community controlled op working directly with NASA, just like the astronauts, basically. These are the flat Earth onauts, basically. And there's really no difference between that famous picture where the NASA astronauts are in the halls of Congress and they can't figure out their story and get it straight, and they're just confused and looking at each other, and they stare at their paper a lot while they're giving testimony.
Yeah.
And that other famous picture where all the TFE people took their shirts off in supposed Antarctica and basically took a topless photo together to commemorate the fake event. So I don't know, man. There's really no difference from the folks who went to this and NASA astronauts at this point, in my mind, except that astronauts get paid better.
Yeah. Do you think that them taking that shirtless photo is proof of anything other than maybe they're just like, oh, we're in Antarctica, let's take our fucking shirts off? I mean, I'm not making an excuse.
Yeah, I think we could look at the flesh not being red or inflamed or irritated.
How long were they outside? Have you ever done that? I've gone out in 40 below zero in a fucking hot tub in Vermont. Okay, or maybe not 40 below, maybe 20 below, but it was windy. And if you're out there for like a minute, you're fine. 2 minutes, you're fucking shivering and your skin is burnt.
Yeah, so I used to -20, -30 have to take my dog out to pee in the middle of the night. So I'd go out there like, my boxers or some pajama pants or something and be topless. But as soon as I get out there, like you're immediately like your nipples will cut diamonds and you
I
start to
wasn't
turn
looking.
red,
I haven't examined the picture, their
extremities.
nipples as much as you may have, so I can't
I
comment.
haven't I haven't looked that closely at the nipples, but like the skin doesn't seem to turn red. None of the extremities are turned red. Like the
How
nose
long
doesn't
were
turn
they out
red.
there? I'm
There's
not. I'm just saying it's not a
like
great piece of evidence.
okay, so for
Yeah.
example, immediately, if you go outside, your nose starts to create moisture and try to protect your sensitive nasal passages from that very cold
Were
air.
they
So you'll have a
sniffling?
runny nose. None of them have runny
How
noses.
do you know that? I've gone out and freezing and my nose hasn't done that. I disagree with that statement. Right? I don't think that is the absolute truth.
I mean, I've never gone outside and like not have a nose that starts to get runny when it's that cold.
I have. I have, and it
Because
has.
you'll damage your nasal
Well, maybe they're not breathing
veins.
through their nose; they're breathing through their mouth. I don't know. Again, with just a fucking photo.
They do seem like mouth breathers
Was
sometimes.
it
I
a
don't know.
video? Was it a video? I mean, if it was a video, we can get more information. But you're just looking at a photo. It could have been. They
Well, we
could
have
be there
videos
for
of the
30
same. We
seconds.
have videos of them shirtless as well.
Okay,
So
I
it's
haven't
just
seen
one
it.
of the many examples of things that we look at that where we catch them in different
So
lies.
I want to bring up. I got a lot of shit for not defending TFE for attacking bad arguments, like the shadow thing, right? The shadows, like, hey, this shadow, it they don't seem to line up. Well, one thing when you take a picture of shadows, they could be parallel, but they don't look parallel due to perspective, right? People are forgetting about perspective. The other thing is if they fake the sun, I did the calculations for the sun to be at the lowest angle off the ground and the highest, it would only have to be between like 3 and 9 miles away or something like that, right? So if they were faking a sun in the sky, it's a fucking local sun. And those shadows, that's pretty far though. They would diverge a little bit. So there could be diverging shadows. But when the McToon thing came out, when he was being filmed, his shadow swung like 270 degrees as he walked. And they're like, everyone's like, he's in a studio. And I was like, damn, how could they be in a studio? I was supposed to be there. Like, was this filmed at another time? And so I went outside. I had my wife take a walk across the parking lot, and I walked just like McKeegan, I believe, who was filming it. I walked just like he did, and watch what happens. So as I did the same thing, and so the shadow's going this way, it's this long, and the shadow's going this way, and it's shorter. So in 7 steps, the shadow got 3 times longer, or 3 times 1/3 of the distance, and it's swung. Am I in a studio? Because this is exactly what they showed. So it's just, I said, this is a bad argument. Nobody would fucking listen to me, right? These 2 red lines are the same length. What happened to the shadow?
So yeah, it's important with shadows to understand like this changes dramatically based on if you're close to the object, if you're high or if you're low. If you go very high, it'll appear perpendicular,
Right. And now
parallel.
go back to the McToon one that everyone, and when I saw it, I'm like, huh, that's fucking interesting. Right. But go back. It's the same exact thing that I'm showing you here. So how about this? Instead of going, Dave Weiss is defending TFE, how about go, hey, thanks for that. I don't think we should use that as an argument because they're just going to use that in the film and use it against us, showing us how stupid we are. Right.
We went through that in the debate too, a little
Yeah.
bit. So the end of the shadow will always align with the top of the object, pointing directly at the light source, which shows that this is not the local sun we are accustomed to, but a
Yeah.
much more local,
Well,
much closer
so
imitation.
I'm going to show you here how that's not the case, right? So the shadow is pointing that way, and as she walks over, now the shadow is pointing that way, right? What happened? What happened to the shadow? This is just how we see. Watch the shadow; it's swinging, changing size,
This
and
is a
changing
different.
direction. This is the exact same, close to the same way. Because as McToon was walking this way, McKeegan was walking that way, right? And so I'm just showing you how optically things appear.
Yeah, it's similar.
Direction.
It's similar.
So
It's similar. I don't think it's the same.
my point is, and I really thought about, do I really want to fucking discuss this shit again? Right? I'm not defending TFE. I'm looking to expose TFE. I'm the one that pointed out the fucking blue sky. I'm the one that said, that made Duffy come up with that guarantee. Blue sky, no haze, or it's a win for flat Earth. I'm the one that exposed Duffy. I'm the one that is exposing some stupid claims like DroneGate, right? drone gate, the beeping. They're like, it's a green screen. I did the same test with the same exact drone. Drones go fucking crazy and they beep all the fucking time when they're only 6 or 10 feet off the ground, right? And I did the same thing, and I'm like, this is stupid, right?
Yeah, well, we have other examples of some of the shadows where they diverge from just above someone's head.
Sun. I think the sun is like 3 to 9 miles away, depending on when they were doing it, and that's going to cause diverging shadows. I think the sun is a local sun, but they're not in a studio. They're in the Antarctica studio.
I'll just pull it up and screen share real fast. It's easier than trying to explain it.
The sun was 3 to 9 miles away rather than
the fake sun. The fake sun. There you go, Dustin. Share away.
Okay, so rather than me try to like explain the angles of the shadows, which it's easier if I just do the visual. This is my post where I basically tracked everything as it was happening and went through everything with those folks involved, and I recorded it all here, including the debate and like the breakdowns and such. But I'm just going to go down to shadows. And you can see here kind of the stuff that we're talking about with this, potentially local light source. Here's another one, though. Like this is where even for a man standing at this particular angle, the shadows like diverge where he's at a very local level. Like they're going different angles from just above his head almost. The light must be very close above his head.
Wait, where am I seeing diverging shadows? Show me.
These red lines.
I'm seeing the snowballs are all going in one direction compared to, I don't even see his body shadow. Where's his body shadow?
His body shadow is strangely below the camera, as if he's being backlit from behind. And then there's also that red line in front of him from his feet outward near the box where it's a light behind him at the same time. But as you say, yeah, look at the snowballs, look at the shadows.
Yeah, that's a weird one. I don't have an explanation for it.
And here's another one where, it almost looks like an AI video where they make like simple mistakes or they put a sixth finger or something on someone. Like you won't catch it until I show you. And then when you see it, you can't miss it. Where's the shadow count? You see the arms, 1, 2. Look at the arms in yellow, 1 and 2. You see both arms.
Can you make that bigger?
Then you see that 3 on the camera that he's holding about waist level.
Yeah.
Well, where's the camera? Where's the shadow?
Yeah.
That's weird. There's a lot of these little things.
Yeah, that's a good one. So again, I don't know. So the thing is, I don't know. As I said before, the fake sun with the real reflected sun on the dome is a hybrid, right? Those guys being fooled and them showing us some fucking AI, some fake shit all mixed together. That's how NASA gets away with shit. On the space station, they're like, how did they do that space station? How they do that, right? But they use different techniques. They use zero-G planes. They use wires. They use green screens. They use augmented reality. They keep mixing it up.
Vapes.
What?
They use vapes.
so listen, I don't want to defend Austin, but how about, talk to Austin about what happened with that vape. I
tried to. Yeah.
Yeah. So my opinion is when that happened, he wasn't even conceiving that people didn't think they were there, right? That's not me defending him. I wasn't there.
It's like when we caught Jaron flipping the compass to make it stick.
I saw that.
It's deceptive.
Let me ask you a question. What does flipping the compass do to support what deception? I'm asking a question.
With certain compasses, the hand will get stuck, and you can fake the direction that you want to.
So, again, I haven't looked at the footage that strongly. My recollection, I think I saw that video, was he had it upside down, and then did he notice that it was upside down and turn it? Did you watch?
I think so.
Okay.
No, and it contradicted the actual direction that we know north and south were.
So again, I'm not making any claims here, but I was stuck on the wait. Fucking compasses don't work in Antarctica. So like, how does that fucking compass work even that far south? Right. So that's an issue. But do you think it's possible? I'm just asking a question, that they can create a false magnetic field down there to make compasses point towards it? Definitely possible.
Yeah, but he wouldn't have to flip it to fake it.
Well, maybe I'm not talking about that. So he had his line in the snow saying, all right, this is south. Did they literally create a magnetic field so they can do that and fake like, hey, maybe south was a whole different direction,
I mean, it's possible, but like, I don't
Again,
think
it's
that's
a
the.
theory. It's just a fucking theory, just like everything else everyone
Yeah.
is saying. It's all theories. And here's the thing: every single one of these theories is saying Will Duffy's a fucking liar and TFE was fake as fuck, and we're not going to believe it. So it's all theories. Why we're cannibalizing each other is beyond anything that I could fathom.
So, you say cannibalize, I say expose, but I mean,
So
exposing
you're
controlled
exposing
opposition.
me. Am I controlled opposition?
I don't know. I mean, you did bring up the question, like, why would they invite you if they didn't think that they could count on you to keep the lie?
As I said,
And that is an interesting point,
I'm the only one
logically.
that knows that I'm not in on it, unless of course
Yeah.
I am MK Ultra, and I don't even know that I'm in on it.
So,
Okay?
without evidence, I don't make accusations. So all I know is that, like, at first you defended it, then you came around, and like everybody else, now you know it was
When you
BS.
say defended it, I say I defended that they were somewhere in Antarctica, and I still defend that they were somewhere in Antarctica.
Yeah, and the footage and such too. Like, just check the debate. You helped Austin debate me, and you're the moderator.
And
But
listen, I'm not a moderator. We're just having a. I looked at it as
yeah.
more of a discussion.
Well, I mean, and that's where I was hoping that like Austin had been deceived, and I was kind of like praying that was the truth because I like Austin, and I still like Austin. I think he's a good guy. Other
I
than
think he was
this,
good.
I think he does good work, but like I can't trust him anymore. And I think that controlled opposition are the greatest threat. I think the knife to your back is a greater threat than all the swords to your front ever will be. And I think that we're in a state now where we're sort of purging controlled opposition from this movement and from many other movements. And
Yeah.
the noticing has gone viral and exponential, and it won't be stopped. I think basically we're getting to where our true leaders are at now.
Let me ask
Like
you a question.
biblical Earth is way better than flat Earth. We've been stuck on flat Earth for a long time. This experiment proves why we need biblical Earth.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, will you remember to send me that other experiment that showed the reflection of the sun? Send me that link, please. I definitely want to see that. I was gonna make a good point. What's going on?
As an outside observer, to give you a moment to think about that, someone who doesn't know as much as any of the people involved in this or either one of you. Let's say I would have gotten that email and they had given me that invitation. And I said, okay, you know what? I'm going to go with an open mind. Not knowing all these things and being in that circle of people who knew a lot more than me, they've done psychological experiments where like you could be in a room with people and even though the line is longer, if everybody says that the line is shorter through peer pressure, you'll be like, oh yeah, I agree. So if I would have been in Antarctica and everybody would have been like, oh yeah, that's that. I would have been like, yeah, I guess. But then hearing both of your arguments, I would have realized, wow, I was duped. I think the problem that some people have is their ego, that they may not realize, hey, listen, you were duped. Yeah. They used you as a pawn.
I hear you. Victor, I think that Austin was duped, but it hasn't swayed him from flat Earth. And I think that something else happened to Jaron. I think my latest theory is it happened before he left, right? Nobody knows where Jaron lives. Nobody is in communication with him. Nobody's heard from his wife, right? Who knows what could have happened to him? Who knows? I don't know, right? And so, that's interesting. This is what I was talking about before. To project the sun at those elevations, 9.2 miles away to 4.27 miles away. So it's not that far of a projection. And if that bright light is what's casting shadows, you're going to have some weird diverging shadows. And maybe, Dustin, as you said, sometimes they saw two suns in the sky. Maybe they made the sun that they were tracking so friggin' bright that you couldn't see the other sun, but that other sun was still able to cast a shadow in another direction. Right? These are just things to think about to help us figure out what this thing is. Has anyone figured out exactly how the flat Earth works? Nope. But we all have different theories and we're working out. We're eliminating some things. I tried to eliminate, one of the things was there's no shadow off of that mountain. Now I agree. There's some fucked up shit with the mountains in the distance. There's no shadow. And then they showed another picture. Look, there's a mountain with a shadow, but the one that had no shadow, the picture was taken from 6 feet off the ground at a mountain, however far away. How are you going to see the fucking shadow? The other one was taken from a couple 100 feet up. Of course you're going to see the shadow. So again, a bad argument for a deception, right? My concern is, the video, their documentary was supposed to come out. It hasn't come out yet. Some people are theorizing it's not going to come out. My theory is that they keep having to change it to address all the shit that we're bringing up, to do that. So that's my theory.
Probably. And we have more to say, and there now people are digging through this, finding stuff that I never even saw, hundreds of new things.
Yeah.
So in terms of like moving flat Earth along and progressing, one of the reasons I believe biblical Earth is better is that it's more specific. So it's not just flat, but it's also stationary. It's not moving. It's not wobbling, spinning, or ellipsing. It's none of that. It's central. It's geocentric. We're the center of the universe. Everything that does move moves around us and Polaris. It's young, 6,000 years young. We can prove that. Everything from the archaeology to the genetics. And it's hollow, and it has a firmament, and it's flat. So there's all of these things together are biblical Earth, which I think is stronger. And it also prevents you from making you know, the natural, possibility, the theory that there are lands beyond the ice wall, lands beyond Antarctica. I think that this kind of firmly debunks that because the firmament squarely addresses not only this TFE experiment, the second sun, the double rainbows, sun dogs, etc., inverted rainbows, all the things that we keep seeing as evidence of a reflected dome, but also it prevents us from leaving our pond, so to speak. So if there are other ponds, we can't get there because there's a bubble in the way.
Let me ask you a question. In the Bible, how far does it say the dome is from 60 degrees south?
Well, that's probably like a one Enoch question. I don't know.
No, you don't know. It doesn't specify. What if it was 1,000,000 miles?
Well, we can see as you get closer to Antarctica, like the rainbows go from arched to like flattened almost with almost no arch.
Yeah, there is some truth to that, but a lot of that is caused by atmospheric conditions. There has been high arched rainbows in Australia and farther south. But it has to do with the dome and where the rainbow's manifesting due to the atmospheric conditions. So there is a correlation there, but I wouldn't hang your hat on that one. You got to look into it a little deeper.
Yeah, so that's one of the reasons.
Getting back to my point about the no lands. I don't know if there's more lands. Okay. Now we have whistleblowers that say, military whistleblowers that say that there's cities of people in Antarctica with millions of people that aren't allowed to communicate with us. Is that called an outer land? What if there is a dome and let's just say it's 50,000 miles beyond 60 degrees south? Would that allow for more land biblically?
Yeah, I mean, the Antarctica is significant land for sure.
Well, I'm just saying,
100 miles
if
thick.
60 degrees south to where the dome connects to the flat Earth was 50,000 miles, that would make all of that hundreds of times bigger than the rest of the Earth. Would that allow for more land, theoretically?
Yeah. No, I would pose things like ancient maps recording Antarctica with kingdoms and castles and creatures and all these things were there.
How far south are those? Well, again, my point is,
I estimate it's around less than 1,000 miles of width for Antarctica.
Oh, well, 1,000, that's considerable. That's considerable amount of space out there. And because it's on the outside of the circle, 1,000 miles, that I got to do the calculation. That could be equal to what we have in here. My thing is, your statement is that more land is not biblical. I don't know. That's not a true statement.
I would say other ponds are not biblical. Antarctica is definitely more land.
Okay, we'll go with that.
That's our world shore. Yeah,
we'll go with that. Again, there's nothing wrong with speculating and looking at stuff to see what's beyond Antarctica.
And where would we go for clues as to how far it goes beyond Antarctica? I mean, the rainbow curves, the Milky Way arch, the stars in the southern outside, celestial or zodiacs and such. Like there are ways that maybe we could triangulate and see how far it goes until it ends without actually having to go to the edge. But I don't know how they would work for sure.
Okay.
Hey, to quote Hillary Clinton, what difference does it make for those who are wondering whether it's flat Earth or a globe? And the thing is, if there was space, wouldn't those who are building underground cities and trying to escape because people are starting to notice, wouldn't they have gotten into some kind of spacecraft already and been on Mars? And because they do already have that technology. So again, why are they so hell bent on getting people not to believe that it's a flat Earth and willing to even kill people if need be?
Because Satanists, the people who rule our world, like Hillary Clinton, want you to not believe in God. Another Hillary Clinton quote is, "We're going to break that glass ceiling." End quote.
No, they were just
Somebody
talking about women's rights
talking
there,
about the
Dustin.
firmament.
That was just
Yeah, I
about
know.
women's rights, right?
Yeah, I know. But some people think she's meant a little bit more.
No,
She's privy to more than most.
anybody with a working mind understands
Well,
that's what it was.
remember Operations Fishbowl and Dominic, where they kept trying to nuke the firmament for decades. Russia and the U.S. just kept sending up big bombs to try to blow up the firmament bubble. So, like, it's not beyond the pale to them, to the elite, to want to break out of this, what they call a prison.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I agree with that.
It's the story of Nimrod, Tower of Babel, killed God all over again.
So if they actually managed to break the ceiling, wouldn't it pour down oceans of us?
The reason the sky is blue during the day and black at night, just like the ocean, is because there are waters above. If you zoom in on stars, you don't get a burning gas giant. What you get are rings within rings of multiple colors seen through water, as if a shimmering veil, which is exactly the way the Bible describes the Orphanum angels, by the way. So that's why they banned that one camera, the Nikon P. What is it? The P. I forget, P900 or something.
The P1000. They didn't ban it.
P1000.
They actually came out with a 1100 now, I think, which is even more powerful. But NASA has contracted.
I think they banned it in the U.S., didn't they?
I don't know.
The U.S. made it.
I got looking at it. You're the second person that said that recently, so I have
mine. They made a deal. They made some kind of a private deal that they couldn't sell it here, and I don't remember the details.
Yeah. But it is the globe killer.
Look at that.
Again, stars are not what they tell us, and they look sentient to me. Yeah, you should see what Crow 777 Radio. His sun footage is unreal, unreal. I have a little clip right here. Let me just show you this.
It's conscious. Apparently, it's communicating with us. That's why they're trying to.
This is not even high. This stuff is high def. This is alive. This is pure God consciousness. And I think that's where we get our consciousness from. About you asked about the flood, the opening of the firmament. Dustin, I think that the Noah's flood happened when God opened up the windows of the firmament and let the pressure out. You know what happens when you let the pressure out? The water comes from below. You take a bowl. So both happen, right?
And so it's hydroplate theory, water erupting.
You put a bowl, push it down under the water. If you let a little air out of the top, the water's going to come up from below and create
There's a guy who came up with something called hydroplate theory, where he basically talks about this, and water volcanoes erupted below the oceans, creating our mountain chains in the oceans, the mid-oceanic ridge, but then also buckling the plates, creating parallel mountain chains outward and upward, creating sort of like the Appalachian mountain chains, etc., which mirror them.
Right. So, and then, and what's about the verse that says, and then there was a great wind and the waters receded? That's repressurizing the dome, pushing the waters back down.
So if above is the water, then are those planets like Mars and Saturn, are they real, but are they outside of our sphere?
That's for you.
Those are angels that have fallen from their first estate and are wandering stars. Those are fallen angels, probably.
And
Mars, Saturn, really?
And that's why they're all named after false gods.
Yes.
Wow, really?
And
you agree with that?
I do. Victor, what about the reason the stars never move? Dustin, do you have an answer for that? Why do the stars never move? I'll give you my theory.
Go ahead.
My theory is that they're angels and they're perfect. They don't need to move.
Yeah, they keep their pattern every time, except for the fallen, planets, which have lost their light. They've lost their luster, and they keep their own spiraling vortex pattern now, straight to hell.
Wow, so there are that many angels? Are angels souls that are perfect? The reason I ask is because from what I understand now, the artificial intelligence and the CERN and the bioweapons disguised as vaccine, what they're trying to do is they're trying to get all the souls and put them into this Internet of Things and keep us in there forever. And that Bible verse that says you will want to die, but you won't be able
And
to.
we'll seek death and not be able to find it. Yeah, they want to stick us in the matrix, control our souls, and biocontaminate us and drag us to hell with them. As in the days of Noah, when all flesh became corrupted, everybody became Nephilim. They're pushing the same stuff: the Spider-Man, the X-Man, the Superman, the genetic corruption, the transhumanism, the robot parts, cyborg,
Oh,
all of
you
it.
think about that. All of the movies they're pushing all of that. What's the one that is it? The X-Men. Everyone's a superhero. I just saw
Yeah.
one the other day where on TikTok these movies pop up. Right, TikTok's supposed to be really short form, and it's all about like a school of superheroes. Right, I watched it for like 2 minutes, and I'm like, all of these kids have superpowers, so they're literally just conditioning us to say, yes, I want the neurochip. Yes, I want this. I want that. I become part of it. The good news is you don't have to participate.
Yeah.
Well, what's interesting is that's why I don't know if you guys have heard, but they're building these AI plants that are the size of Manhattan and that need their own nuclear power. That would make sense if they're harnessing our souls. Because if the souls are like what you're saying, David, stars, then that energy needs to be harnessed with nuclear energy. Because, I mean, am I too far out on this?
I think it's primarily about information. If they're trying to like encode and digitize our spirits, like I don't know exactly how that's going to work, but they are trying to have a digital bio overlay where they have stuff in people which records, tracks, and traces everything from their heart rate to what they're doing to what they're saying to who they're saying it to who they're donating money to and what kind of speech that they like. I mean everything. And that's what the whole Palantir and all these, Trump's surveillance grid things that he's doing are all about. So basically, they want to track, trace, control, surveil everything and know it all and have basically godlike power. That eye at the top of the pyramid is about to sit down and claim its seat.
You know when this is going to happen? Next week? 2 weeks?
I hear that they're planning. They're really moving forward with that alien craft coming in November. Have you heard about that? That there's a 20-mile long, and it's supposed to come exactly November. I think it's like November 16th at like 12:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I don't know how they know this, but
they're pushing this alien
probably
agenda.
because they're in touch with them.
Yeah. They're pushing this alien agenda. That's why they need you to believe in outer space and everything. I remember what I was going to say earlier. The moon landing. What's your opinion on why they did the moon landing?
To fake space, to hide Antarctica, to hide 100%. What we're discovering, to hide the firmament after Operation Deep Freeze. I think they were looking for bases. They hit the firmament and they freaked.
And that was a big operation. Think about it. Countries involved, television stations, billions of people watching, in witnesses everywhere. Then they're ordering parts from 2,000 different companies, and just so many people involved. That's probably the big, knowing that it was fake, is probably the biggest fake hoax thing ever as far as logistics go. Would you agree?
Yeah.
I can't think of anything bigger, right?
I call the TFE like the moon landing 2.0, but it was
the moon landing 2.0, but think how easy it was. They had a half a dozen people that they were fooling in a isolated area. They don't have television cameras. They just had these people in a place where they couldn't see without fucking glacier glasses on, right? So if there was a second sun in the sky, a weaker one, they wouldn't see it, right? It was so, and people are like, no, they couldn't pull something off that big. That's nothing compared to the moon landing. The moon landing people are like, oh shit, you guys got it easy. In the 60s, we had to fucking do this entire thing, and then you guys just
cardboard and foil.
You've got 3 guys that you got to fool in Antarctica.
Yeah. In my day, we had cardboard and foil, and we had to make a whole spaceship.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I think this is a good segue, perhaps, at least to touch briefly on the alien topic. We don't have to go deep into it.
Let's go.
Talking about the planets and being fallen angels, like I don't believe. First of all, space is fake. We Dave and I have both established that clearly with our debates and our content. Like flat Earth
I
is
just
real.
want to I
Yeah.
just want to say something. I believe you guys. You guys have actually converted me to that and also to the flat earth. But when I start talking about that on my show, I mean, people think I'm crazy.
Well, you
So,
saw
I
me
mean,
debate Fetzer, the science professor. So of course you believe now.
the
But
whole space fake thing, people really have a hard time with that.
well,
People love it.
Why do they fake space? Obviously, they don't want you to know that you're the center of God's creation and that God is real and we're on a created world. They want you to think you're in a speck of dust in an infinite space of ever expanding nothingness. But there are other benefits to this for them. You have to think, first of all, the occult worship the fallen angels. They worship the dragons, the Neha Elohim, the watchers of the Bible, or the gods, the dragons, the whatever of all the other religions. They worship these entities, and they're carved in rock all over the world. Even in underwater cities, these things are real. You'll see them often depicted behind, like the pharaoh or the king. Either they'll have serpents rising from their crown or on a throne behind them. Those are the dragons. That dragon gives them their authority and power in sort of biblical terms. So these fallen angels are the gods of the elite. They're the gods of all the pagan cultures. But
So
they
are you
developed
saying
bad.
there's
Go ahead.
more than one God?
There is God, the creator, and then there are the fallen angels, which are on a lower level. They're a creation. But to us, we have called them gods throughout history. So I'll use lesser gods, little g. They call themselves gods. And Yahweh addresses them in the Bible saying, "You are gods, but you'll die like men." So the creator can judge them, has all the power. They're not on his level. It's not like good versus evil is equal. It's not what people get into with that dialectic. However, fallen angels are real. People have worshipped them as false gods and their offspring, the Nephilim, throughout history, the giants, etc. Go look at some of the Egyptian like giant statues or something. So, these entities, the central theme of the elite's worship, are trying to come back into the public spotlight. They were actually released from, some of them were imprisoned for the creation of the monsters in the first place, and they were released around the time of Roswell when the alien explosion started to happen and all these abduction stories of rapey aliens started to happen, which is the same thing that happened in Genesis 6. Rapey aliens trying to spread technology in exchange for baby blood and wanting sex with humans. It's basically Genesis 6 all over again, except for now they're infertile, as God said. So he made them impotent. They can't impregnate women the same way anymore. They have to use genetic experiments to create monsters, like mRNA vaccines. So these guys are back in line with prophecy. For example, 1 Enoch, 1950s or so release date, exactly per the math. And they want to return as the gods, little g, to the world. But the whole world knows about fallen angels and demons. So just like Aleister Crowley said, the leader basically of modern witchcraft, the godfather of Thelema and the kind of Hillary Clinton elite sorcery that they do, who was dancing with dead children's corpses through the night, talking about all sorts of evil sort of sex magic ritual orgy type stuff. This guy said, quote, "Today they call them angels and demons. Tomorrow they'll call them something else." End quote. We call them aliens today, but they're still the same entities that have been here the whole time since they descended on Mount Hermon, which is the high holy site of Israel today. It's basically where the fallen angels landed. I'm sorry?
That's in Syria. That's one of the reasons why they went in there.
Half
And
of
now
it.
they're
Half of it,
doing it.
yeah. The
The
Golan
UN.
Heights, Trump
Yeah,
Heights. Yeah.
yeah.
And Syria was taken over by the Israeli proxies, so-called Islamic terrorists, and then they gave the rest of Golan Heights, the other half of the mountain, to Israel. No problem. Strangely enough, they just conceded all that land because they wanted their holy mountain. But this is where the fallen angels landed. There's a temple up there that's now got a UN like hotel resort around it to hide it called Kizar and Tara, I think it was, where a stone was shown. At one point, it was taken to the British Museum and hidden away, but it actually said, basically, "Where we go one, we go all," as an oath from the fallen angels. This is the same thing you'll hear from the Q movement today, taking this oath of "where we go one, we go all." So you see the same people, it's the same entities that are worshipped by the evil throughout the world's history and today. You see their oath to "where we go one, we go all," which leads them all straight to hell. They're all going to hell because they took that oath and they're mutually bound. Okay, that was what they wanted to do because they were afraid. Some of them were afraid they'd get in trouble with God, and the others wouldn't have to pay the price, like their leaders.
Dave,
And
do you believe in hell? Do you believe in hell, Dave?
I think no, I don't believe that there's a hell like that. There is hell when you're not close to God.
It gets hot when they dug that deep hole in Russia and they couldn't go any further.
You ever hear
Too
the
hot.
sound that came out of there when they dropped the microphone down there?
Was that eerie? That's so creepy,
So
man.
creepy. It was so creepy. Like people like, nah, that's fake. I'm like, someone did a great job faking that.
Yeah. It was the deepest hole ever dug. They stuck a microphone. I have that on my
Yeah, that's
channel.
crazy.
You can
I don't want to hear it again. I literally,
super.
it freaked me out.
What did
So,
you think of that? When did you hear that?
I don't know if I heard it or not. I probably did and forgot. I don't remember it off the top of my head. I know
You were
about the hole and the
traumatized.
heat.
You literally hit it in your subconscious because it was so horrifying.
There's something similar to that, by the way. The Bible talks in prophecy about the four angels locked away beneath the Euphrates. And now that the Euphrates River is draining, we keep getting these clips of this ancient like stairway down into the rock, this ancient thing
Yeah.
that was underwater. And
Huh?
there are noises, moans, screams coming out of this noise. Now, people are saying it's fake. People are saying they're adding the noises in. There are a lot of these clips coming out from different people. Maybe, maybe not, but the locals are afraid of that site. And that would be in line with prophecy. So I think that there are four angels trapped beneath the Euphrates, pissed off, wanting out.
Hmm.
And angels aren't necessarily good, right? Aren't they demons, really?
Well, so demons are something different. Demons what come from unclean flesh or corrupted flesh. So before the flood happened, everybody had corrupted flesh. Noah was saved because he was pure in his genetics or generations. So a demon comes from a Nephilim body. If you mix species, if you mix a dog and a human together, make a dog man, and it dies, you get a Nephilim spirit. It does not go where humans go, even though it was part human. So that's what a Nephilim is. They can be killed, but a fallen angel is something else. An angel, fallen or not, they're shapeshifters and they're spirits. They can't be killed. They can take bodies. They can take wives. They can fight. They can, kill people. They can do things with their body, but they are a spirit. They cannot literally be killed in that sense. They'll just recorporealize somewhere else. And these are, I believe, why there are 200 seats in Astana, Kazakhstan at that pyramid complex, because there are 200 world leaders pretending to be human right now that are not.
Have you heard about that, David? Because I've heard about that. I had a guy on my show who worked and he was on some secret missions for the U.S. military. He couldn't tell me what country it was, and he couldn't tell me all the details because it was a secret. But he went and met with like a top government official, and he showed him. He opened a box and he showed the mask of one of the world leaders. And when he looked inside the mask, he said there was technology in it that he had never seen before. And he also noticed that inside of the mask were kind of like reptilian, you know how like when you put a mask on, it kind of takes on the form. So there are alien leaders apparently who disguise themselves as humans. And he said, man, I saw it. He goes, it wasn't just me. I was with some diplomats and stuff, and they showed me this.
I
So
believe it. I believe it. Let me
They,
show you something.
they don't need masks, though. I mean,
Well,
the angels themselves can shapeshift. There
I
are
think
people using masks.
I think the reason they have released image AI creation at the level that they have, I think it's old technology, is to obfuscate the real stuff that we're all finding. Like we've exposed the old world, we've exposed reptilians and stuff, but people will say it's fake. Is this real or fake? Is this real or fake?
that looks AI.
It's
I
totally
think
AI.
that
It's totally AI. I made it. I made it in fucking 30 seconds, right? And I just have commercially available AI, right? I mean, that's pretty freaking good.
it is.
And so now I go look at some old pictures, and every time in the back of my head, I'm like, is that a real picture? So these places like this do exist. You can go, you can take pictures, but again, they've muddied the water so much that any
Yeah.
normie,
A guy in a suit would live in a hut.
but no, these people live in the hut. He's just coming by to, looking at them.
Gotcha.
These guys, right? Again,
Like
when you zoom in on their faces and stuff, they're pretty fucking. They got like lines in their face, and
weird eyes. Oh,
yeah, No,
sometimes the eyes will be weird, or they'll have like a sixth finger or something.
It's getting better and better, and that's just the stuff that we have access to, Dustin. I mean, they can make anything now. You know, remember the old picture? Like, there's this guy, a picture from the 1800s, and it looks just like Eddie Murphy, right? It's just it's AI.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
yeah. Well, probably.
But again, don't let AI completely destroy, the real stuff.
It makes us incredulous.
Yeah. So that's all. So I want to point that
People
out.
People won't believe like all the footage we show them about the flat world now, because like you can make anything out of anything with AI.
Yeah. I mean,
pictures and proofs don't mean much.
I mean, this was built with, horse and buggies and chisels, right? But this is a real place. You can go here, right? But you can claim that's just AI, right?
And they built that with copper tools, right?
Yeah, with chisels and stuff. Oh, that's what I was going to say before. When you say, I think that this person's paid off or whatnot. If you walked into a room, and in the room was a bunch of nails stuck into the wall, and all that you saw in the room was an apple and a hammer, how would you think the nails got stuck into the wall?
Yeah, it wouldn't be the apple, it would be the hammer.
All right. So is that your conclusion or your theory?
That would be Occam's razor applied. It's the simplest explanation.
Well, so it's still a theory, and you can use Occam's razor because you're limiting it to your basket of apple and hammer. But what you don't see hidden in that room is a nail gun, right?
Oh, yeah.
My point is when you look and say paid off, threatened, or been a shill the whole time, those are you're picking from a basket.
I try to make a point to always see everything in the room.
Yeah, well, but we don't always see everything. Excuse me. We don't always see everything in the room.
Yeah.
All right.
Getting to what Dustin was saying earlier about the controlled opposition and what you're saying, David, about the artificial intelligence. I just had somebody contact me because apparently there's a person named Susan Bradford who's putting out posts about me being everything from controlled opposition, and people are claiming that I'm working for the Mossad as a quadruple double agent and stuff like that.
You attract drama as much as I do.
Well, Victor, you're on having the show with two Jews, so I don't know. You might be Mossad.
I'm not a Jew. Although with this beard, I keep getting called Jewish.
Prove it, my friend. Prove it.
Yeah. Everybody says you're.
But like
the
beard.
I was told you were a Jew. Russian Vince told you were a Jew.
My genealogy, my genetics, and my surname all prove it.
Prove it. So,
but check.
My point is
zero evidence that I am.
Yeah, that's the thing. You can't believe anything now because even like the three of us, because of what we do, there's articles out there. And apparently with artificial intelligence, this guy showed me, he entered in my name, gave AI the 25 names that were in this article, everything from Dan Bongino to Trump to Epstein, said you can use quotes that are fake quotes. And then in 5 minutes, AI reproduced an article that was just kind of like that, associating me with everybody from Pam Bondi and then it goes out online. So people don't know what to believe, and now it's out there. So AI picks that up.
I got it. The point I was trying to make is that we make a lot of conclusions without looking into things. Sometimes there's no evidence. You don't have a way to look into something, but other times people like any of us will make a conclusion when they could have taken the time and look. For example, Dustin, on your website, do you still have the ceremony where I was made a Freemason on the John B. Wells show? Is that still on your website?
Yeah, but without comment. I mean, I just show people so they can make up their own mind.
Yeah, well, no, it's out of context. It's completely out of context. So what that was done by Russian Vids, a guy that makes claims that I know are false. I'm sitting on a ladder, therefore I'm a Freemason. The truth was there was no chairs and I was exhausted, so I sat on the ladder. But
are you saying it didn't happen?
No, I'm saying, so Tim Rothschild, have you looked into who he is?
I don't know. Speaking of which,
I've heard that he's the sort of the inspiration for your show.
He was the inspiration for our show.
So what's going on?
What's that?
You're a member of the Rothschilds? What's going on here?
Tim Rothschild is adopted by a working class family in Nyack, New York. His father, if you look into it, well, I believe he was a carpenter or a plumber, And his mother was just a mother, a housewife, and they have no money, and they never had any money, and he has zero connections to the Rothschilds. He wishes he had connections to the Rothschilds.
So to that degree, I mean, like Hitler was a probably Rothschild bastard, and he was not given any sort of act. He was just basically an artist, and they made him a dictator and a mass murderer of the Germans, not the Jews.
I mean, that's the story that they tell us. I think he was a homeless man that they're like, hey, that guy's kind of crazy. Let's make him the leader of the country. He'll do what we say, and we'll, right. So we don't. But my thing is, you're going based on a Rothschild. You're going that I was made a Freemason, but if you watch the entire video, I don't mention him. I did a 3-hour presentation completely destroying the Boston bombing hoax. And at the end, John B. Wells takes off his glasses, goes, "Oh, that's amazing." He goes, "Would you mind?"
I get that.
Yeah. He goes, "Would you mind if I did a little ceremony?" We're like, okay. And he goes, in the name of McGowan, Patrick McGowan, which was a television show, a detective show like Columbo in the 60s. He goes, "I'd like to honor you as Knights of the Ark Midnight," which is his show, his radio show. "And I call you Sir David and Sir PK." And basically he was just putting us on his wall of fame. Zero to do with Freemasons. I don't even know if some people say John's a Freemason. Had nothing to do with us. He was blown away that we took him from Boston bombing really happened to holy shit, it was fake as fuck. So taking that out of context, having that on your website is a lack of critical thinking and research and influencing other people to think incorrect things.
Dustin, I know you've got to.
Yeah, I know you got to go. So yeah. I want to do this.
You got to go, Dustin. But,
I want to address this, yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Dave, if you stick around, because I'd love to hear what you've got about the Butler, Pennsylvania with Trump.
Sure.
Okay, so in terms of like the context that you're adding, yeah, I mean, I'm not denying that. I think it's kind of obvious because you guys are talking about the Boston bombing. And I didn't add anything in terms of context I didn't add anything. I just took the clip and shared it under the
You took the clip out of context, though. It's out of context. You got to put the whole video in there. The video can be found at stoplookthink.com under the Boston bombing. It's called the Boston Hoaxathon. Watch the whole thing, and then you'll understand that John was blown away, wanted us on his wall of fame, said it was probably one of the best radio shows he's ever done, and it was mind-blowing. You're portraying it there as, hey, consider Dave Weiss as a Freemason.
Well, maybe, because it's possible. Because the Holy Royal Ark Knight Templar Priest is an actual thing.
So what involvement did I have with what he said on the radio? What
I don't know.
Over do I? You don't know, right?
And personally, I don't consider it that. I don't consider it that damning. I'm just like,
no, it is damning because I get shit all the time. People find that stuff all by Russian vids. A faceless guy that accuses everyone of everything, and it ends up on your website. When I saw that during the debate that you and Austin had, you were flinging by your website, and no, it showed on the screen for a half a second, and I'm like,
yeah, I was polite about it.
Motherfucker has that on his website. How?
Well, it happened.
I lost.
It did.
No, it happened, but you have it out of context. Hey, Victor, when we're done, when you have time, stoplookthink.com. Scroll down. There's a whole bunch of bars. The second one,
freeze?
Boston bombing. You might have froze. Hopefully, you can hear us. It says Boston bombing.
I can hear you.
Okay,
you guys are great.
It says Boston bombing. Watch and then the first video says Boston Hoaxathon. Watch that video. I show that clip at the beginning, then watch the whole video,
I get it.
And then it's in context at the end. Watch the video, then take it off your website.
So you're saying the reason that he initiated you was because you did a good job exposing something.
He initiated us onto
that context
his
doesn't change the fact that he initiated you.
He initiated us into what? Into what?
He said the Ark Knight.
The Ark Knight. That's what he calls his radio show.
It's also called the Holy Royal Ark Knight Templar Priest. It's been around since the 1700s.
So maybe he was mimicking what the Freemasons. Maybe he is a Freemason. He looks like a Freemason, right?
Yeah,
so
he messed you up on that.
How about
that was not me. That was kind of a John B. Wells.
But here's the thing, Dustin.
You should get on to John.
Let's say you were talking to somebody who is a Freemason. You presented them with some great evidence, like you were just showing us on the show today. And at the end, he goes, Dustin, I want to just do a little ceremony and honor you. And he spits this thing out. Are you a Freemason now?
No, I'd be like, no, I'll decline that. I would reject it on the video.
I didn't know what he was going to say, and I didn't even relate it to.
Well, what about afterwards? What did you say afterwards?
I was like, thank you, I'm honored. That's what I said.
I wouldn't have said that.
Well, because you are reading far into stuff, right?
Well, because I know that there is an audience watching me, and even if I didn't mean it, even if he didn't mean it, even if it was a
I
joke,
didn't
I
even
would know better
consider
than
that
to
was a
say
possibility.
anything like that.
I didn't even consider that it had anything to do with Freemasonry. I
Y-
thought he was putting me on his wall of fame, which he was for his show, The Arc
To,
Midnight, The Caravan
to
of Midnight.
be to be fair, like I'm in a more combative spot than you are typically because I go after fake news and I'm a reporter and you're like you focus on the science mostly. So like maybe you went into this not thinking that that was a problem or a threat, but like for me,
Anybody,
credibility is everything. And like I've exposed so many controlled opposition people who are in secret societies that when something like this lands in my lap, like we can't ignore it. It's just filed away as a note that we keep in the back of our
you
mind
can't.
in case there's something
Did you
else.
watch the whole video?
No,
Okay, of course you didn't. All right.
watch
I
the
encourage
initiation.
people to watch the entire video. Stoplookthink.com, stoplookthink.com, Boston page, and then go to the Boston Hoaxathon. It's a great video, by the way. It's really good. Super good.
Boston bombing was a hoax. It was fake. I mean,
Yeah.
they
And
killed
we
real people, but it
destroyed
was
it.
controlled op.
Nobody died in the Boston bombing. Stop it.
Okay.
Okay. Nobody died.
I'm rusty
You know,
on
I
that
want
one.
to.
It's been a while, so I don't remember details.
All right.
I want to give
We're
credit to.
gonna let you go, and that way we can Victor and I can talk about
I promised the kids I'd take them to the
Well,
science museum, and it's like it only has so
what
long to be
science
open.
museum. Hold on, what science museum? What kind of science?
My
Don't tell us exactly. Whatever. What
well, it's in central North Carolina. I don't know if it's any good or not. I don't know anything about it.
is it?
Frankly, my
Is it
wife
like
found it.
space science?
I hope not. I'm going to go in there and wreck that stuff.
Dinosaurs?
And
Dinosaurs?
I'm gonna obnoxiously be loud, like this is so fake, it's flat, really,
You
and teach all the kids.
video that. I want to see
I
that.
will.
Live
Okay.
stream it. Awesome.
Dustin,
All right.
if you could stop sharing screen for a moment, I just want to thank you
Sorry.
for doing the kind of reporting that you do and exposing controlled opposition. I know it's very difficult to do that, especially when you're doing it with people who are friends, like Dave is a friend, and so I appreciate that you're willing to go out on a limb. Dave, I'm so glad that you're able to come on and defend yourself. I think that's one of the things that's so important. If you're gonna claim something, at least have the person defend themselves. And David, what you said is absolutely true. Because if you're gonna take a clip out of something, then you're taking it out of context. So it's very important to see the whole thing.
Yeah, he didn't even watch the video, so.
Yeah, that being said,
the context being, I admit the context. It's in the clip that they were talking about the Boston bombing. I mean, John B. Wells addresses that context at the beginning as to why he's doing the initiation. I think that's a red herring misnomer, though, a distraction, because like the initiation happened. Why it happened is, it frankly doesn't matter.
Where's my fucking ring? I didn't even get a ring. I just have my stupid Apple Watch. Okay, where's my ring? I get
it, and that doesn't mean that
yours.
Frankly, look, it doesn't mean that you're a Freemason just because he said so. Maybe you didn't get your membership card, or maybe you didn't consummate the marriage, or whatever the hell they do with little boys, But the fact is, like, he gave it to you.
But that being said, Dustin, I want to just thank you, and I want to have a little ceremony to make you an honorary Rabbi Nemos, as Christopher Björk.
No,
Björk,
not happening.
Hold on, I muted him. Go ahead.
You're a rabbi. So if anybody wants to take this clip and take it out of context, honorary Rabbi Nemos.
And Dustin, I'm going to pass my Freemason membership to you. It's yours. Now you are.
Oh, I'm good.
Nope, muted again. Right. And and now you're a Freemason. So I honor you and I call you Sir Dustin. Okay. Sir Dustin Nemos from here forward. All right. See you, Dustin.
Buddy, have a sense of.
Bye, guys.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dustin. Now we get. Butler.
I kept muting him. That was fun.
Yeah, that was great. All right, let's get into some serious stuff here, because a lot of people still believe that Trump somehow made a miraculous recovery with his ear. And the more that you see the clips, the more you're starting to realize he's admitting that was a show, that it was an act, that it was. I mean, I've just seen so many clips of him claiming that he had blood all over his hands, and when you look at it, he didn't have blood all over.
I'm gonna go over this stuff real quick. It's not going to be long, and then you can make up your own mind. For those of you that want to believe. Where's my share screen? Share
What
screen.
does Crow 77 say? He says belief is the enemy of knowing.
Belief is the enemy of knowing, and I've taken it to a next level. I say belief is the lazy man's knowing.
Yeah.
Because it takes no effort whatsoever. I don't. Oh, there's my share screen. Boom.
Do your research, people.
What's that?
Stop. Do your research. I say when people they're being keyboard warriors and everything, claiming that I'm a Jew and that David is I don't know what. I mean, you know what? It doesn't matter. Do your research.
Oh,
out
dumb.
there.
It's so dumb. All right. So what I'm showing here, this is just a shot of the stage. Can you see? Am I sharing?
Yeah, those things in the background, those are staging areas where all the actors.
That's a one giant tent at the Boston Humming. At all of these events, they have these giant white tents, no windows, and nobody knows what's going on there. So this is a massive tent. It's a staging area. Okay.
But that was at Butler, Pennsylvania. You said a Boston bombing.
No. No, at the Boston bombing, they had the giant tent there. Watch my presentation. All right, so I'm going to go through these one by one.
And for people who don't know, they have those giant tents there because they hire crisis actors. And they actually have advertisements hiring crisis actors, and they pay, I think, like $250 or something like that. And I don't know what these people sell their souls to lie about this stuff. But people are willing to sell their souls for paper, with faces of dead presidents on them. It's amazing.
I'm looking for my share screen is not showing the image I want to see. Where is it? Oh, here it is. Okay. So this is, as you said, Trump said, my hand is covered in blood, right? It was bloody. There was absolutely blood everywhere. No blood on his collar, on his cuff, no blood on his
And
neck.
look at that white cuff. I mean, it's totally white. There would be a little bit of like... Dude, I've cut myself shaving.
Yeah,
I had more blood. Well, you know what I'm saying?
Have you ever cut your ear? Have you ever nicked your ear? Holy crap! The stuff that there. So another one that happened. Let me get back here. Stop sharing.
By the way, I used to have an ear piercing, and I still have the scar from it. That's from an ear piercing that I had. So I mean, what? Right. If a bullet went through, I'd have more than just that.
So I want you to notice his ear. I'll show you a close up in a little bit. Like only the top half of his ear is bloody. I guess there was no gravity that day, right? So
and nothing in his ear.
And look at the sky, blue sky. The flag is flying perfectly. This is like that famous shot of Hiroshima. Not what's it called? You know what's called?
Raising the flag.
Yeah.
Iwo Jima.
Yeah, Iwo Jima. Right. So this is the guy that was on the news 30 minutes later saying, on the roof, I saw them, but they didn't do it. Look at the sky.
Amazing.
What happened? So we had, there was actually some flat earthers that live in that town, and they said it was a 2-day event. They wouldn't let it, the first day they were supposedly just setting up, but there was people in there. And the second day they could get in, but they could only go in the way back. Way back. And he had his P1000 and he zoomed in and got some pictures of the flag. The flag was never flying like this. Never. It was tangled. It was much higher. A whole bunch of stuff. So again, that is some more fake shit. Let me show you what else. I'm going to that.
But it turns out it's not that difficult to dupe people.
No.
That's why when we were talking about the final experiment, if they had brought somebody like me on who doesn't know any better, like you and Dustin, I would have fallen for it. And I would have believed what they were showing me because I would have been like, what? You really could project something into the sky? I would have been a total dupe, man. But the thing is, once I heard people like you and Dustin, that's the problem. People have their ego and they're afraid to apologize and say, you know what? I was wrong. I was duped.
So is this picture showing? Because I can't, when I'm sharing, it's not letting me see.
Yeah, it's those guys on the roof.
All right, so notice the sky color. Notice the
you're right.
Yeah, notice the people. And so now let me does this next picture show?
Yeah, totally.
Okay, so these are the people. Now notice this guy in the black suit. He's a key player. But supposedly the other guy is shot over here. You can see my mouse. right? And these people are just kind of sitting here. I'm going to show you some video in a second. Let me go out of this one and go to this one. Oh, it stopped sharing. Okay, I got to share again.
But nobody really bothered to go into this. And what's amazing is Trump just dropped that whole thing. I'll tell you what, if somebody tried to assassinate me, that'd be the first thing I'd be wanting investigated. So meanwhile, he's just let.
Yeah, we're looking at the sky color. And then this is the famous shot of the guy that caught the bullet, right? No one's ever caught a bullet before, except for this blue sky, right? Here it is.
Yeah.
And, fight. Like, this would never happen. They would never, ever let him stand up like that where there's an unknown shooter. He'd be gone in a second. But he does fight. And then the whole thing with the missing shoe. I don't know if you know about that. Let me get my shoes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Whose shoes fall off like that? Give me a break.
So here's just a shot. Now we have overcast skies.
Yeah. What's up with that? Look at that
overcast sky, and then here's an interview later. We got a totally different sky.
Yeah.
All right. So let me get out of there. Where am I going here? All right.
I mean, people don't have critical thinking skills. They want to believe. They want to believe that Trump is the new Messiah and that he's going to make America great again and that he's just going to fix everything. And then Kung Fu Jesus is going to come down and everything is hunky-dory.
All right, so now we have his ear. So now the newscast said, half his ear was shut off. Then they're like, it was more of a graze. I don't care if it was a fucking nick. It just took the skin off the top of his ear. Blood pours out. Now there's no blood down here, right?
Yeah, none.
And his ear, if you look at it, is not missing. There's no bullet hole. There's just some squirted blood. And look at the blood on his face. What does this look like? It looks like a snake's tongue. How did that blood get on his lips if he got his ear shot?
Yeah, and where's the blood that would have been dripping from the ear to form that on his lips?
Yeah.
None of it makes sense. Look at his hair. There would have been like blood splattered on his hair and stuff, but it's perfect.
Yeah. All right, so we'll go there.
And his hands. When you look at that picture again, there's no blood on his hands. He keeps telling people in interviews that there was blood all over the place and blood
everywhere, right? And then this is from, whoops, what happened? Go back. Yeah, there you go. You can see this picture?
Yeah, that's amazing.
This was a few days later. It was the 13th, so like 11 or 12 days later. Not a scratch.
Yeah, that's incredible.
No, that's impossible.
By the way, did you hear the theory? Dustin Nemos claims that Trump is the Antichrist. And then I just had Brandon Kroll on the show yesterday. He thinks that what's going to happen is that Trump will be assassinated, but then Elon Musk is going to use some sort of new technology that he has to bring Trump back, not immediately, but like 3 days later, just like Jesus Christ, to have all the satanic Christians.
And just the fact that you're mentioning that could mean that it won't happen. Okay. So let me share this now. I'm going to share this with sound. Show with sound.
Wouldn't that make sense? Because you have Elon Musk and Trump having these public spats. And then all of a sudden, Elon Musk comes and saves Trump with some new technology that he has. And it's written in the Bible that whoever the Antichrist is will die and then miraculously come back to life.
Interesting theory. All right. So this is at the hospital when he first shows up. Now, think about how Secret Service works. Would anybody be able to film this? Can you hear that?
No way. They would have cleared that whole area out.
So listen, it's about a minute.
Currently at the hospital with Karen. President Trump was just shot supposedly in the head. And they just rushed him here.
Now, the question is, what are they showing? They're showing nothing. Listen to the talk. Listen to what he said.
Who is that? Oh, sorry.
I'm just trying to. No, they're bringing him. But I see all of the Secret Services.
There's that special agent right here.
Oh yeah, we're front row, and my friend saw blood coming out of his head.
Oh my God!
can't figure out how to work that gun.
There he is. There he is. There he is. There he is.
Where is he? I don't see him.
He's walking. He's walking.
And that woman was FaceTiming herself. She was looking at herself. Where is he? That's it. That's all they showed.
It didn't show anything. That proved absolutely nothing.
It showed nothing. All right. Now watch this. So, when they do crowd scenes, they splice stuff together. You ever watch Wag the Dog, right? Where the girls just hold this thing of potato chips and we'll chain it out with a cat later. They can do all of that stuff. So check this one out. This one is wild. All right. So watch this. You can see my mouse. Watch this guy. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Watch this guy. Have you seen this?
So this guy right here.
Yeah. This is great.
Crossing. Oops.
All right. So
get that going. He goes behind the tire.
He's going to disappear. Watch him disappear. I'm going slow.
See the person's arm?
And he's going to go right past that person's arm, and he's gone.
And he disappears.
Yep.
What the hell? It's a ghost. I mean, he literally disappears from...
Back it up. Actually.
What was that all about?
Yeah. I'll go back. So right there, he goes, and he's gone.
How do they explain that, by the way? Have you heard anybody try to...
He ducked down, he tripped, and he fell. You could just make up excuses all day long.
It's going to go underneath this guy's arm.
And there's other anomalies where things are disappearing into invisible seams.
Yeah, but nobody, when they do productions, if you've ever made a film, if you're a filmmaker, there's always little mistakes that can be found. No matter how perfect even Stanley Kubrick, how many takes you have to do.
Yeah.
I forgot what they in the movie business, but as a filmmaker, I could tell you when you look at a film, you'll always find a little inconsistency somewhere. And that's what we're watching. We're watching a production. Before you share the next thing, I just want to show people something because people sometimes don't understand what's going on and what world we're living in.
How did you convince Hezbollah to buy this?
Well, obviously, they didn't know that they were buying it from Israel.
Who did they buy it from or think they were buying it from?
We have an incredible array of possibilities of creating foreign companies that have no way being traced back to Israel, shell companies over shell companies who affect the supply chain to our favor. We create a pretend world. We are a global production company. We write the screenplay. We're the directors. We're the producers. We're the main actors. The world is our stage.
Yeah, and we are all just watching a show. And Dave, myself, and Dustin, Nemos, and others, we are showing you what is behind the veil because we're in the apocalypse and this is the unveiling so that when light shines on the darkness cannot overcome it. So thank you so much, David, for sharing this with us. I really pray that this wakes people up.
I made this little meme because you got to laugh, okay?
Yeah.
You got to laugh. But I got some better stuff. So I'm saving the best for last here. Where is all right? So,
when there's people out there who still believe that actually happened, are they just cognitive dissonance?
Listen? Yeah. Everyone has their own journey, and they're ready they're ready when they're ready to face some things. Here's the thing. The story of Trump is the best hope America has ever had. It's a great story. Unfortunately, everything that he said he was going to do, he's done the opposite. He Project Warp Speed, he brags about that. That's fucking crazy. 5G everywhere because of him, right? We had 3 5G towers in our town, and inside that little triangle, 3 kids got brain cancer and died, right? And now there's like 100 plus towers in my town, right? So all of the stuff that he promised, including putting Hillary in jail, in his first term. He has gone the complete opposite, and people still want to hold on to that. But am I showing there we go.
Yeah, that's a great movie.
We literally are in the movie Idiocracy. It's like at his rally, you had friggin' Hulk Hogan, who's now dead, supposedly. And Trump yelled, "Enough is enough," or something very close to that. And then we have the Illuminati card that looks just like Trump. It's called "Enough is Enough." It's
Hey, by the way, let me ask you something, and for the audience too, if you could leave it in the comment section. I'm living in a developing nation, and we have 3G and 2G, and I'm still able to broadcast podcasts from all over the world. So can you honestly say that with the 5G towers that you have all around you, you're getting your internet faster? Have you noticed way more improvement, or no?
I don't think it's not about that. These towers need like 50 or 500 watts, but they have 50,000 watts of power wired to them. That sounds like a weapon system to me. So this is the killer right here. This is after it's all cleared out. I'm going to play the video, and all the people are leaving. All the people from here have left, and all the people here are still standing there holding their signs.
Wow.
Okay. So people are just like, it's over, right? These people are gone. Everyone's going out. But for some reason, maybe for some B-roll footage, I'm going to just speed it up. And I go to the right here. All these people are still just standing there. Why aren't they leaving?
Not because they're actors, and they have to go back to those tents that are back there because they have refreshments, they have snacks.
They're still holding their signs. They're still holding their signs. Are you kidding me? There's an unknown shooter. Everybody should be gone in 30 fucking seconds. People probably should have gotten trampled to death. Okay. But these people are just standing here. Then nobody has the information going to them. Oh, we got the shooter. There's only one shooter. We don't have to worry. They didn't know that shit for weeks. And
Dave, have you ever been in an active shooting situation or no?
No.
I was, when I lived in New York, I went to a Halloween parade. They have a big Halloween parade in Manhattan. Yeah. And there was a shooter, quite literally within earshot. I heard bullets going out. If you ever hear a gunshot, it's unmistakable. And everybody started running. It was a panic. I grabbed my cousin that I was with. We both went underneath the car, and we could see
instantly
from underneath the car. We could see all the feet. It was mayhem. And we didn't get out from underneath the car for a while because we were waiting to make sure that there weren't any more gunshots.
Absolutely.
All I know is these people sat there with their signs up above their head like paper somehow.
If you look at if you take the emotion away, if you take your love
so much
your Trump away, can you hear?
You don't mind if I go off?
You can't hear that, right?
Yeah, I can. Yeah.
Oh, you can hear it. You can't hear it.
Teleprompter, do you? Because these teleprompters are so damn boring. I try.
All right, so this is just before the shooting, right? I think the shooting's
coming up. They're getting better with time. My guys, right. Take a look at that chart. Take a look at the arrow on the bottom. See the big red arrow, right? So that's when I left office. That was the lowest point, and that comes right from the government services, comes right out of Border Patrol. Take a look at that. So that arrow is the lowest amount of illegal immigration ever in recorded history into our country. And then the worst president in the history of our country took over. And look what happened to our country. Probably 20 million people.
All right. So this is right after. Now, he was shot. Look at the people over here. There no fucking right now supposedly a person got shot over here, right? Now This kid right here is the same actor that was at, I think it was the Boston Marathon. He was filmed there also, or maybe it was Sandy Hook. I'm not sure. And look, everyone like playing to the camera. Look, go over there. Right? Look at this guy in the blue shirt. He's just sitting here. Like, oh yeah, look at these people. Right? Now this woman's hiding in fear. Right? Let me turn it down a little bit.
That's insane. That's absolutely goes against human instinct.
Now, check this guy out. Check this guy out here in the hat. He's right next to the person that got shot, and he doesn't look. He just sits there, looks around. This guy, look over here. This is not how it happened. Look at this guy with his shirt open, just sitting here. And then you got this guy comes in, looks like a little Secret Service or something. All right. Yeah, so this guy right here on the right, he's the one from the Boston bombing. He's just out of view.
What's so disgusting, Dave, is that these people, they don't even get paid that much, but what they're doing is they're selling out their own country, their own family, their friends, their neighbors, because this changed everything. And that black guy, by the way, have you seen that black guy? He's a total actor.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen the footage of him.
I did. I mean, the footage is so bad. This is just bad acting. Look at this guy in the background here, behind the fence. You know, like, everyone's calm. President was just shot. This guy in the hat still sitting here. This guy is looking at his phone. Right? Nobody knows where the shooter is. This was just this happened like a minute ago.
And look at the black guy. He's rather than like he's like helping everybody out, and purposefully they chose the black guy. By the way,
of course. He
was interviewed and everything, and it was like, okay,
what's going on with this person here? This person, it's just hide. This person's acting well. I like they're hiding, or at least they're hiding. But she's looking at her phone.
Yeah. I mean, it's just for goddamn ridiculous.
But there's blood on the bleachers, Victor. There's blood, right?
Yeah. And nobody's running. That's what doesn't make any sense. I would have been out of there already.
Yep. Look at this guy on the far left here, just sitting, looking down. He's not like concerned that another shot could happen. Now, and look at this girl. What happened to her? What happened to this girl? Is she shot?
Yeah. Why is the black guy helping everybody out? I mean, this guy.
Why can't she walk? What happened to her?
Yeah.
Right, and look, these are the people on the right. They're not moving. They're just staying. We need some B-roll footage. Again, Trump's ear. Nobody, not having a wound on it. Him saying there's blood everywhere. The actors that we're seeing in there. It's hard to imagine that all these people can be in on it, and no one ever whistleblows. But maybe they have contracts, and like, hey, if you ever say anything, we're gonna, gonna cut you open and tie your guts around your neck. I don't know.
Yeah, that brings us back to what we first started the show out with, the final experiment. I mean, when you get to Antarctica and you're there in the middle of nowhere, and they say, okay, listen, you're part of this psyop. If you say anything, and then like you were saying that the guy's sister disappeared and so on, and these people are acting strange. I mean, who knows?
We don't know. The thing is, my theory is that because I was supposed to go, therefore I can pretty much conclude, I can 100% conclude, because I know that I wasn't involved, that they were tricked because I was supposed to go and I'm not in on it. So I know I have a vantage point, and again, you have to believe me. Otherwise, people like Flat Earth Banjo are like, oh, Dave Weiss was in on it the whole time. He was never intended to go. Jaron and Austin were always supposed to go. Wow, that's a lot of imagination, right?
Yeah,
I was supposed to go. It was to take down the AE map, to take down my app because it's waking up too many people, Victor. And that was the purpose of this trip. My app is waking up too many people. I'm waking up too many people. It was designed to take me down and destroy the Flat Earth community. Now, they did a good job. They got us infighting, but we seem to have come back together. We've completely destroyed the nonsense that they showed us from TFE. And that's why their documentary hasn't come out, because it's completely destroyed at this point. It's only made Flat Earth stronger at this point, because you can't destroy the truth with lies. You can you can make people confused, but the truth will always rise to the top.
And I'm glad that you came on the show, because I'll tell you what, I was also hearing, and I was shocked that you were now Globe Earth Dave.
People
and
just
I said,
say
wow.
anything. They say anything. It's amazing. It's absolutely.
And I was shocked, because I didn't really like honestly, I didn't have time to look into that or anything like that. You've explained it to me, thank you, and so did Dustin. But all of a sudden, I'm like, what? He's Globe Earth Dave. And from there, I was like, okay, whatever. I didn't really, but
people
now
will believe anything, right?
So yes,
yeah, it's truly amazing, and it's so easy to manipulate minds. There's people out there that that do great flat Earth work, but they're out there doing live streams every week, making foregone conclusions. Jaron was paid off. I don't know if he was paid off. I don't know. It's possible, but I think paying someone off is the worst way, because then they have money, and then they might say something. I think it's something different. I think it's something way more nefarious. And again, I say it's in the spiritual realm that has gotten him to do what he's doing. He won't, seeing the sun in the sky is a fallacious argument. Hey, does it match the ball? I don't even think it matches the ball Earth, but to the weak-minded people, they can say, oh yeah, it matches the ball, therefore the Earth is a globe, and we're going to discredit all of the physical measurements of the Earth by some light in the sky that defies natural law. You can't have a ball of gas in a vacuum that burns for billions of years and holds on to planets, and everything works in perfect cycles. The gravitational space cycle, it's all beyond possibility. Flat Earth, on the other hand, has many explanations, and one of them is they faked the sun in Antarctica, which is where I stand.
Dave, knowing what you know, and having gone through all the things that you've gone through because of knowing it, why do you think they're doing everything from erasing our history to covering up Flat Earth to the whole Butler, Pennsylvania? How does that all fit into what is about to happen in 2025, which when you go on BitChute, you see all these like fear-mongering people, something big is about to happen, the end of the world is coming. Are they just fear-mongering, or are we really in for something?
I think they're really fear manifesting. They want us to create that world with our thoughts. They want us to literally, they pre-program us for all of these things. On 9/11, for years, they were forecasting 9/11. On the morning of 9/11, they were doing multiple drills of planes crashing into buildings and stuff. This is all energy manifesting, right? And then when they realize, hey, nobody's noticing, let's take it live. They do that with everything. They announced a bomb drill at the Boston bombing, and nobody noticed. They announced it, right? And all of the other ones, they always tell us. That way, AI is watching the whole thing. It goes, watching the whole internet. Nobody's noticing that it's a drill. Take it live, right? Or like, oh, everyone's noticing. It's just a drill. So it makes it hard to actually prove something. The fact that, when enough people call out a date, call out something that's going to happen, it doesn't happen. Because the AI goes, no, too many people see it. So they don't let it happen. And then they redo it, right? So we're in an incredible construct, if you will. And, I think AI is running the whole thing for years. There's on my app, if you go to the video search and type in, it's called News Benders. If you type in Benders, BENDER.
Do you think artificial intelligence is actually conscious? Because people are claiming that artificial intelligence has been around for thousands of years, and that we're just
years. So this was done in the 60s, and it's about faking wars, faking space, and everything. And the guy goes, "Who's writing all of this?" And I was, "Oh, it's not who." He goes, "It's the big machine upstairs."
Yeah, that's a great episode.
Yeah, he's talking about AI, and And so they always tell us. The beautiful thing is that we have what's called revelation of the method. They have to tell us what they're doing. The beautiful thing is we don't have to agree. We don't have to take their bullshit. We can disconnect from the system, Victor. You know, we don't have to play by their rules when you're not on their ball field. Get off of their ball field, which is why I push the truth about flat Earth, because get off of their ball, and then you'll start seeing that you don't have to play by their stupid rules. Get off of their fiat currency, and you don't have to abide by their rules. Our currency is dead. People just don't realize it yet. So get off it. Find other ways to transfer energy, and stop allowing. Here's the thing. We don't need to take over any governments at all. We just need to ignore them. Imagine if everyone ignored the government. What would the government be? But except a bunch of retards flapping their mouth. Right?
Hey, but Dave, you know, it's easier said than done. I could tell you this from personal experience. I haven't had a cell phone in now almost 4 years. And now they're saying that you're not going to be able to get onto the internet unless you have biometrics. And so if that's the case, I'm not getting it. I could live without the internet. And so if you don't see me doing a show anymore, it's because they want me to log in with biometrics to get on. And so I'm not going to do it.
They're trying everything. And unfortunately, they're going to get most people to agree, because most people, I have my phone. We're using their tools against them. Right? They created crypto, I think, as a psyop, but we've created privacy coins out of that. So we're using it against them. Right now, I said it on our last show, we're on Zoom right now. That's their surveillance tool. But we're passing messages around. We're waking up people using their stuff. They can't hide us. They can't stop us from learning, but they can inhibit us. They're going to try. And so we do the best that we can where we are with what we have, and that's it.
I could tell you this, though. It's not easy living without a cell phone. That's for sure, and especially with the banking stuff, because you have to have that. They say it's for your protection that they send you a 4-digit code. And then when I said, I don't have a cell phone, they said, well, you'll have to fly back to the United States and go to the branch where you opened up your account. I'm like, I can't access the money on my phone to be able to buy a ticket. So how am I going to get back? So it's kind of a catch-22, because in order to buy a ticket, you have to go online, but they don't let you access your money. So you're stuck, And I even tried to get a power of attorney to have somebody go to a bank, get a phone and say, okay. And they said, no, it has to be you. So, and they're doing that now. Bank of America, there's veterans who are living in Russia, and the bank shut their account down, and they had over $60,000 in there. I don't know why people would keep that much money in the bank, but they said, oh no, because of these sanctions, even though you're a veteran and you're an American, you're still living in Russia, we're closing your account. You're going to have to fly back to the United States in order to get your money. Otherwise, you can't access it. So the banks are doing funky things, and nobody's talking about this.
I get it. At 1 foot in the matrix, 1 foot out. We do the best that we can. Victor, we got to wrap it up.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dave. This was an extraordinary show. I'm glad that we showed people that we can be mature about things, and that we can debate things, and that we can agree to disagree. But in the end, I think we agreed that that final experiment was a fraud. And that there's something fishy going on at the very least.
And with the Trump assassination, I'm not making any final conclusions. Let's say that there is this deep state, which there is, right? And let's say that presidents are not in total control, which they're not, right? What if, just throwing this out there, okay? What if Trump is playing along, doing what he needs to do to get to a point where he can make a difference? Maybe. It's a possibility. Do I believe it? Gun to my head, no. But maybe it's a possibility. So maybe he's playing 7D chess. Forget this 5D chess. It's 7D chess. And maybe he will save us, or maybe someone else will, or maybe we'll save ourselves, right? And I just say anybody that just seeks truth and spreads love That's all. Just stay out of fear. The opposite of fear is love. And that's it.
Speaking of which, I just want to say this was probably one of the best podcasts I've ever done. I want to make you an honorary member of the He-Man Woman Haters Club. And that's an offshoot of the Knights of Columbus. So thank you so much. And I want to remind everybody that united we stand, divided we fall. Never give up, never surrender. Keep shining, live, love, flow.
David Weiss here. I've been taking Masterpiece for probably over a year, maybe even 2 years. And the detox I feel from it is amazing. I have never felt better in my life. I know that sounds like a lot, but I sleep better. I have amazing dreams when I take it at night. I take it twice a day most of the time, but sometimes I only take it once a day because I forget. But it's definitely an amazing product. And now with the new research they've done where it is literally getting rid of the nanotech in your body, I can't imagine not having any. So there you go. That's my testimony, and I love the stuff, and I'm never going to stop taking it. Hey, everyone. If you enjoyed this interview, please help support my work and help wake up others by referring or gifting the app to at least one person today. By doing that, you're going to help wake people up and help me to continue doing other interviews like this. With the censorship out there that's going on, it's very difficult to find relevant information. And the app, as you know, brings people to the truthful information of our world. So help support my work, help support your efforts in waking up friends, family, and strangers. Gift them the app or just recommend the app. And let's make 2025 the year Flat Earth breaks free. Check the links below for information on how to gift the app or just refer the app to others and use your referral code to earn Dome cryptocurrency and a free subscription. Thanks.